Hello everyone. I hope everybody's good. Thank you so much for watching these chats every morning. And today I'm chatting to the legendary DJ Christos. This is one of the most important anchors of South African house music, and this is somebody who's found so much talent, who's nurtured so much talent in the industry. Besides the compilations, besides the DJing career, but just the passion of building artists and giving back in that way. It's something that's that's amazing. And thank you so much for doing this, Chris. How are you?
I'm good, man. Yourself? Good morning to you. Good morning to everybody that's watching.
Ish, we can't see you. I think there's something in your camera there. I don't know if it's your finger
Okay. Can you see me now?
no, I can't see you, my
Can you
brother.
see me now?
Say something.
Now?
Yeah,
Can you see me
yeah,
now?
yeah, yeah, yeah. We can see you now. We can see you now.
All right.
How
Cool.
are you doing?
Cool. I'm good, man.
Yeah, thanks for doing this, bro. Um, the camera is almost like towards your right. If you can maybe put
Okay.
yourself in the center a bit. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Is it
Cool.
better?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's better.
Okay.
That's better. Yeah.
Okay.
So, Chris, you are one of the founding fathers of the founders of Kalawa Jasmine and obviously your own label now, Kataitis Music. But you've now started a concept with DJ Sake, Lady Sake, and Irene Concepts. But I want to
Mm.
know, so many artists at some point in their careers, have passed by you, and you've nurtured a lot of artists, including myself. My entry into the scene. You've been at two important junctures, in my career. What drives your passion for discovering and helping talent?
Um, I think you know what. Personally, I think we can't run an industry if we don't do that. For me, it's very fulfilling to be in this industry with people. Can you imagine being in the industry alone? And I think it's something that we all have to learn and shake up or shake out somewhere along our lives. That whatever we do, if we can share, I think it's there's a lot much more. I don't know whether it's gratitude or satisfaction that you get out by seeing other success. Not to
Mm,
say against yours, but I think how is success measured? I think success is measured in how successful you can make the community around you,
mm,
and what you're trying to achieve. I always saw music as something positive, and I think if I didn't get into the music scene because I was not really interested in schooling and doing things further via schooling, and I found music as kind of my, where my heart lied, and I just found it as something that's very healing.
mm,
And personally for me, I feel that that's what it does. It touches the nation, it touches people all over the world, it unites us.
mm,
And there's the positive side of music, and then there's those that jump into the music industry. Of course, they don't know some of them, and they
mm,
just want to make money out of it and just do, whatever. They see it more of a money spin, and the music industry is not about that.
mm,
It's really about talent, passion, the love you have. And yes, there is space for those that want to make money. I guess there's space for everything, in this world.
mm,
But at the end of the day, if you look at what has remained from the beginning of time, and the music that's remained is always music that really had something to offer back to people. A good message.
mm,
And a lot of times it's a positive message of love, and that's where you find solace in music. Or sometimes just a good musician, a good saxophone player, a good pianist, or whatever it is.
mm.
Violinist or whatever, and that's what it's really all about. So, and I think for me, I found that, what, I think giving is much better than receiving.
Mm.
So because I get joy out of that, and that's what I do,
Oh, sorry, your video is got
that's
cut
what I
then.
do. Is it
Okay, cool.
stuck?
Yeah, yeah,
Are
it's
we
fine.
back?
It's fine. Now we're back.
Yeah.
Well, also I wanted to ask you that are you while you are helping other people, then have you seen yourself from the lens of how other people view you? And the reason, my question that I'm trying to get to is, sometimes we do things and we just go and we build our own careers and we do affect other people positively. But do you ever really give yourself a pat on the back? Are you proud of your career and what you've done for other people? Do you see it like that? Do you even realize the kind of impact that you've had in the whole scene?
You know what? I don't really sit and value things and things like that. I just, like I said, I think it's important that we find it within all ourselves to actually be kind of like this, within the industry, and yeah, look, I can't say I don't give myself on the pat on the back, but I don't know if that excites me when I give myself a pat on the back. I'm happy when the industry does well, to be honest, and when there's some positivity and we are standing united, on all fronts and stuff like that, that's what makes me happy. I get happy when I see the industry standing united and moving forward, and you know, without any genre, without the genre issues,
Mm.
I tend to find a lot of times people think that having issues with genres. I don't have issue with anything as long as the music is positive. Once the music starts to become negative and it starts to have a negative impact on the community, then I will have a voice, and I have had a voice. And people shouldn't see that as I'm negative towards the genre,
Yeah.
but I'm outspoken towards it to say, where are you going, brothers and sisters?
Mm.
We, as being part of this and being there from the beginning, I feel it's also my right that I have to try and protect this industry, and I can only protect it with my mouth, in a certain sense, and I feel that I have to put my viewpoint and say, hold on a second, where are we going here? The minute we start becoming too electronic, the minute we start taking musicians out of it, then what are we doing? We're not building an industry. This is the music industry. We need musicians. We need live people. We need to collaborate. Now, I'm not saying all the songs should be like that. But when we completely cut that out, then we're destroying a whole industry. Then nobody will become a musician. Nobody, and all those things. So, I have I believe that I should be a voice. And sometimes people take it wrong because people are so genre related. The funny thing is a lot of people say, I play deep, I play this, I play that. But actually, you know what? I play every music. If you go through the years of my career, I've played all forms of music and I've broken a lot of people, and you said it right. I mean, the Nasty Nave era, you can look at it as the start of the piano era in a certain sense.
Yes. I agree.
And stuff like that. So I think there's so much that people don't know. I think the problem is with South Africa and us, because we love music so much. Everybody tends to find that once they find their niche into the music industry, everybody becomes an expert.
Yeah.
We have a lot of experts. It's like a lot of coaches. And there is no expert in the music industry. Music is just there for it to be enjoyed. There's no experts and there's no formula. The formula really is bringing people together. We are doing house music per se. I mean, that's my genre. So if you have to take all these subgenres away, it's house music. End of story. And house music is positive, that I know that it's something that brings people together. We have fun. We do it as in a brotherly way, and it's about caring, and it's about passion. That's what I know. And everything that falls out of context of that is not house music. I don't care which genre you're doing. That is it. So if your music doesn't have those parts, bring people together, we talk positive things, we don't talk crap, and stuff like that, then you don't fall within house music. You can think it's house music because it got the hat and the kick, but it ain't.
I hear you.
The house music is the positivity that falls in and around it,
Yeah, and
around the genre.
And well, Chris, firstly, I think I know you are not used to being on the phone and being still, because I always see you when you're on the phone. You are walking.
Oh, you want me to be still?
You are walking around, and now
I like walking
you. I know that you're doing the same, but just for this, and if you can just be still.
All right, I'll sit still for you.
Thanks. So your passion also. I mean, what you just said. I just wanna segue into the project that you have been. You embarked on a journey on regarding Dance Music Summit, and we'll talk about Deep Soul Sensation. I mean, we'll talk about the effects of COVID-19, but I just want to talk really about Dance Music Summit as the concept, because when you were having a chat with me last year and telling me what you wanted to do, you showed so much passion in the way you wanted to do it. It's not like it wasn't gonna be the traditional music conference, where people are just sitting. You had a bigger vision to it, and you were bringing so much passion and love. Can you go deeper a bit with what you really wanted to do with, or what you're still gonna do with DMS? Because it will still happen.
Sure. For me, it was really about bringing back that skill side. Looking at the studio side. How do we make music? What is the importance of making music? And what I did with Psyche is we kind of found people that were very good in their craft. And I actually looked for people that have been in the industry for 20, 25 years and have made it, but are not mainstream. All right. And the reason why I found those people and put them within this whole conference was because I could show people that you can survive in this industry as long as the passion is within you, and you can make it and you can live out of it. I think that was point one. And that was going to be abstractly coming out. Eventually, at the end of the conference, people would figure that out. And also that there's so much talent. And also there's so much different genres. There's the jazz element of the house scene. There's the commercial element. There's the very deep element. And it doesn't matter where you fit in. Even if you are a commercial person, it doesn't matter where you fit in. But find your space. And if you have the passion, you'll make it, and you can make it, and you don't have to be mainstream. And we didn't sell it in that way, but we did sell it in the point of power of performance. Now I was going to show that the power of performance of these people, of everybody pretty much that taught there, is so important because everybody's got something special to sell, or how they do things. And a lot of it has to do with craft and, just it's passion, it's craft, and also like, I don't know how to put it, man. The fact that you love what you do, very, very importantly. And that's what it was all about, So it was really about the love of being part of this industry and the music and bringing people together. I think very, very importantly for me was bringing people together in network and unity. Very, very important within this thing as well, So, but at the same time, it was not going to be a talk shop. That's one thing that I always told myself, no talk shop. So we go there and we teach. So if we're going to say something and we can teach it. So in other words, I don't want to tell you, this is how I'm going to record the vocal. Let's record the vocal. You know what I mean? This is how I want to make a beat. No, let's make the beat.
Yeah.
So people can see it in front of their eyes, see it, live it. And that is important. I think that was the most amazing point of it, is to live that moment, to actually see somebody create something live.
Yeah.
And a lot of it, I asked everybody where you can, especially the sessions that didn't need to be pre-planned. Let's free flow it. If you know what I mean. So if we do a vocal recording, let's find a vocalist from the crowd. Yeah. So we can free flow it. So we can show people the mistakes that we can make, but also the good things that can come out of it. So just free flow it. Let's be free. Very, very important in this thing. And then in that way, because you know what I really wanted to do? I wanted everybody to feel at the end of this conference that, man, let's just go and make music. And, if you really look at it, at the different arrays of music, when you've got Kineuki, when you've got Mark de Clive Lowe, and just and also a lot of the great South African producers and so forth, your Jesuels, yourself, Chima Music, and just so many different people. Even Miss D is a great remixer, people that sometimes are not even looked at, you have it, and a lot of other great DJs. People will look at the industry differently, and just see we actually have so much talent here, and that was it. And then a nice part about the next conference after this one, we have so much talented people that we can actually do 100 conferences, without even having to repeat the same people. In a certain sense, because we have really so much talent, especially in our country, and we don't actually realize that. But very importantly, I think it was also meant to bring out the best out of everybody and hopefully unite or start a unification program where we can all unite, under the dance umbrella. And I think lastly, something that I never mentioned to people was also to form a body that can represent us. I mean, we have been, I don't want DMS necessarily to be the body. I want the body to form itself, but whatever it's called. But I think, we've been awarded awards that nobody has collected. Awards as being the best South Africa was the best consumer of house music or the best sales, for a number of years. But nobody went to collect it. So it means our body doesn't even have somebody representing us. And you know what? Probably if somebody went to collect it, other people would say, but this person doesn't really represent this sector or that sector or that sector, So I think we need a representation for the dance music, in the country, and where it can represent us worldwide, where we can be. And also in times like this, let's look at the times we're in now. Government has not made any provision for any freelancer or any artist or nothing. So it's like you're on your own. The only thing that the president didn't say when he stood up, he says, artist, you are on your own. We're not giving you a cent. Sorry, go and find whatever on your own. Because at the end of the day, honestly, that's the truth. And I don't mean to be knocking him down, but the fact of the matter is that it is what it is, which is very sad because artists do pay taxes.
Yes.
And we are cut out of this, which is something that we're going to have to look at. As a matter of fact, we need to look at it right now as we're speaking. But I don't want to get into a political sphere because I don't think this is about politics. We'll get into that later.
Yeah.
And I think it was just it just goes to show you that we mean nothing to government. And the only time we mean something when there's a crisis and they want us to perform for free and they want us to help out for this disaster, which we'll always do gladly and we'll still do it, But at the end of the day, we're not counted for anything.
Yeah.
It is what it is. We got to be honest. Our government in this country does not count us as artists. Our Department of Arts and Culture does not. Unfortunately, they can say they do, but they don't. And it is what it is. And especially when it comes to the dance music scene as a whole, DJs and whoever, I don't even know which artists are counted because it looks like nobody is.
Yeah. I mean, I wanted to ask actually this particular question about us, how we are seen by the government, but it's a good thing that you brought it up because I was going to bring it up maybe in a more negative way, and I'm glad that you did. But just from what you're saying, I think that it is important that somehow, times like these, times of struggle and of where everybody's kind of unsure, I think they also give us an opportunity to really see where we stand. You know what I mean? Like now there can be a much clearer communication because I think if things were just normal, it was going to be almost impossible to think about even forming a body that will represent us with the government. And we might not have been listened to anyway if things were like that. So I'm very, in a positive side, I see this lockdown and the COVID-19 that it brings opportunities for us to really look at the scene clearly, like how are things really, how are things within our scene and within the government as well. But also, I want to touch on something that you're doing with Valentine's and Irene Concepts and DMS. You guys have created a relief fund for DJs, and I think it's 100,000 rands all in all. DJs getting 1,000 rand maximum. It's a very good thing. Do you want to please touch on that because I've got questions and other opinions about it as well.
All right. Look, I approached government about it. I actually, once the relief funds came out, I actually did mention to the minister, Natim Tetra, that what about DJs? There's nothing for DJs. He asked me to elaborate. I sent him a mail. I sent a couple of mails. And he said to me I should put in a proposal. The proposal was that let's do a live streaming thing. I'll get DJs to virtually do it for free or just at a very minimal fee, just to cover costs. And then we collect money and we try and do a relief fund since there's nothing until we see what relief funds come out. I haven't got a reply till today. I don't know if they will still come on board. I managed to speak to Valentine's. I actually sent it to a few sponsors to say, please come on board. The industry is in dire need. And as much as it doesn't seem like a lot, to help 50 or 100 people, it's something for me.
Yeah.
And I feel that we can sit here doing nothing or we can do something. And I feel, like I say, it's always important that I feel that we do something for our industry. And you never know how big this can become. You never know. A big funder can come in and say, let's help more people, and that's what it is. At least let's try, My whole motto is if you wait till you have enough money and do things, then you'll never get to do anything. You know what? So we just did it.
True.
I approached a couple of people. I'm still waiting for Samra to come on board, and hopefully they'll also come on board, and we'll go a bit bigger and get them to administrate other things that we can't. But for now, you know, I managed to secure this the little bit of funding, and we've opened a donation platform. And from next week, DJs will start getting paid out. You know, there's about 60 or 70 DJs that have already asked for relief. So next week we'll roll it out, you know, and we're doing things the best we can, you know. And the criteria is simple, you know, it's not anybody specific. It's DJs who have been working and have lost revenue. It doesn't matter where you're from, what genre you play, what you do, but it's just DJs, and it doesn't matter when you started or when you did it. The fact that you were working and you lost revenue, anything from 1,000 rand to 10 to 20,000 to whatever it is, we will be able to at least help you out with 1,000 rand, whether it's for data, for food, or whatever. You know, and that is it. You know, I don't know where it will take us. It's you know, I just feel we have to do something for our industry, and I just hope those that are in a position, if anybody is watching, to donate, please donate. You know, let's try and help out. The DJs are always left alone. You know, I think us as artists, what people don't understand, if everybody sees us on our glory days when we're on top there, or when we make a hit, or sometimes even when they are, but they don't really know behind the scenes what's going on. To be honest with you, what people don't know is that 90% of us are always broke, in all fairness. And this thing will affect everybody, even those that are very well off, you know. Now, I can tell you right now, 99% of the DJs will start feeling it from this month. And that's a scary number, because you know what, in our industry, it's very difficult to try and save up, because you're always trying to invent yourself. You're always trying to stay on top. And, you know, people don't understand, you know, how difficult it really is to be where you're at, you know, and there is a lot of competition, which makes it great. But at the end of the day, you know, you're barely making it. It's an industry that there's more passion in it than the money. And the money comes with breaks. You know, there's a time when you really do make a lot, but then hopefully you invest that into studio equipment or whatever, or something else. I think maybe the only thing that this has shown us, I think the COVID, more importantly, is that besides the music industry, besides being stuck in one thing, have something else that's completely different that you can fall back on. You know what I mean? So in times like this, those of us, including myself, if you don't have something that you're going to fall back on, you know, take essential things. Just imagine you were making something that was essentially sold, whether it was soap, toothpaste, whatever, you know, milk, for that matter of fact. You probably could have still at least got some money. So, you know, maybe it's a time where we should all reflect and say, you know what, we should breach into different other things, maybe even farming, something. Do what you want to do, but then do something else, you know. And I think that's what it's shown me. And another thing it's also shown us is that we actually kind of on our own. Look at the situation that's happened now. We are on our own. I mean, as artists, DJs, whatever, this whole entertainment industry, freelancers, people who do sound, lights, we actually were just told that we're on our own. You know, I counted it up that we're probably about 800,000 to 1 million people in this country that have been left alone, that the government said, go fend for yourself, you know.
And you are still, you know, and we are still expected to pay tax like everyone else.
Yes, but you know, like I said, those issues we'll deal with, because you know, I mean, I've got a tax dispute coming at the moment, you know, but I mean that's besides the point. But the fact is, you know what? I'm sorry, we ain't going to continue like this until another disaster happens to be told that we're not covering you. Sorry, we don't even know, we don't recognize you, but you're taking our money. That is out. I'm going to address that as soon as possible, and I think as Artists United we need to do that. I think, you know, and address that with government. You can't be taking our taxes and then tell us there's no release for us. You know, then what are we doing? What are we paying taxes for?
True.
You know,
and I actually think that to whoever is watching, you know, people who are in the industry, we kind of need to start thinking about this and have these conversations amongst ourselves, how best we can move forward, how best we can actually address these issues. Because sitting at home and actually not doing anything, or not even tweeting a minister, is not helping us, guys. You know, you see people having tweets on, like, other people from other industries being at the ministers, on the ministers' cases on social media, because it seems like now this is probably the only way that they will listen to us, and we should
we have to,
obviously not in a sense of being
Yeah, let's
obviously
not be rude.
not being
Let's
rude.
not be
Yeah,
rude,
yeah,
and let's not be ugly
yeah,
about it. Let's be
yeah.
honest.
Let's
I
be
think that's what it is.
yes.
Let's be honest about it.
Mm,
You
mm,
know,
mm,
what are you doing for us? But nothing has been done for us. Let's not
yes,
go out there belittling people. I don't believe
yes,
belittling anybody.
yes,
Sometimes they didn't even know themselves. You know, I don't want
yeah,
to, there's no use in belittling anybody,
yeah,
but let's be honest about the situation.
yeah.
Let's go out there and fight and be honest. And when somebody is talking, it's not telling us what we want to hear or telling us lies or whatever, or going around the bush. No, we want straightforward talk. Look, we messed
Mm,
up. We never had a plan.
yeah,
Let's see what we can do.
yeah, and
That's
come,
fine. That's a good enough answer,
yeah, come up with
you know.
solutions,
But
as well.
but don't tell us yes this, yes that, yet that. The fact of the matter is, you know, I've been in this industry for 32 years, nah? And the government per se, in those 32 years, maybe once or twice, they've actually invested in something for the youth. That's very bad. So imagine in this industry, 32 years, we've done great inroads internationally ourselves. We are all over the world selling our music as an industry, but government has not really injected any money. As a matter of fact, I can tell you right now, probably 5 million in these 32 years. And I know that under the new government, we're not under 32 years, but I mean, I'm just saying 5 million rand in the 25 years has probably been put for youth things. And I can tell you, we're lucky if we're lucky on that. The other millions that they might have put in are money that we've never seen, you know, just given to friends. But what I'm just saying is that I know of. Imagine 5 million in 25 years, you know?
It doesn't. It
And that's
doesn't.
bad. And so that means our industry has always been looking after for itself.
Mm.
And then it means we might as well cut out the arts and culture industry. We don't need it as a ministry.
Yeah, I think
You know?
I think definitely there is a bigger conversation worth having, and I don't want us to dwell too much on it, but definitely there is a bigger conversation worth having. I think starting amongst ourselves and also seeing what inputs can we make, especially towards the government, to really make them listen. But I wanna
Yeah.
as well mention another sector that I feel should be supporting DJs more now than ever. Chris, like DJs are always playing week in, week out. Besides the lockdown, before the lockdown, DJs are in the clubs, playing music for people. And the one sector that's always benefiting without any losses is the liquor sector. The alcoholic brands, they benefit more than anyone else in our industry. And this, for me, it feels like, to see a brand like Valentine's is doing so much for in the local dance music scene, and it's not such a big brand even. Like they came into the scene like 5 years ago in South Africa, but they're not, for them to actually even pledge 100,000 rands, and you have an SAB, with billions and billions of revenue that they make week in, week out from our scene and our industry, but they are not coming to the party. Is there a conversation worth having regarding that?
Well, you know what? I have spoken to SAB. I actually did speak to them yesterday, and I'm hoping that they'll also come on board on this initiative. I don't think they're not coming to the party. I think they also, a lot of taps have been closed for them, and there's a lot of uncertainty, in other words, from government, where they're going to go. Now, I understand what you're saying. We're looking at what has happened in the past. But then again, I'm not covering up for them or anything. But then again, I've seen initiatives from their side that they're actually giving money to venues to cover their staff, their barmen, and all things. Because, we also need to realize this industry is also bigger than us. We go and play at the venue, right, as a DJ. But then there's the barman, there's the cleaners, there's the security personnel. Though all those people have also lost their jobs, they even have a less voice than us because they're not even prominent people. And their voice doesn't count much on Twitter in a certain way, unless they're just backing up somebody else, And we also forgot about that industry, and they're taking care of that. So what they're doing is, I believe that in the beginning they started making sanitizers with alcohol instead of alcohol. Now what they're doing is they're going to the taverners and they're actually helping them to pull through this period. So I think they are doing something for the industry, From SAB. I'm not sure about the other guys, but I saw that. And henceforth I went after and I said, guys, we are doing this thing for the DJs. Please help out as much as what you can. And they are looking at it, and they said they'll come back to me. So it means they are looking at those things, and I think maybe it's also up to us to approach these companies and say, you know what, there is a need. I think come up with maybe like a plan that I've come up with. There is a need. Please inject something. Please donate whatever you can. If you donate 10,000 Rand, you can probably give 10 people 1,000 Rand each, if you know, 1,000 to each person. So look at it from that perspective. See what you can donate and let's try and get it to people who are in need,
Oh.
And just try and help out as much as we can in this period of time, I think that's it. But I think the industry is willing to come on board and they are willing to do it. I mean, I see Hunter's Dry is doing something with lockdown, with Channel O and so forth. There's a few brands, and I think they are willing to come up. It's a matter of coming up with ideas for those brands to be part of. If you know what I mean. I think they would like to donate and at the same time be part of something so that they can be celebrated as well and be looked at. And I think, those of you who are doing some proposals and stuff like that, maybe you should start looking at that,
True.
At sending proposals to the liquor companies regarding that, And especially to the head offices, because I think in times like this as well, the regional offices are obviously closed because there is no supply of alcohol. I think that's what makes it a bit difficult because they themselves don't know where they're going. Their offices are closed. They're working remotely, obviously, during lockdown, but they're
not selling. They're not selling anything.
No, and they're not open at all.
Yeah.
So there's nothing for them to do at the moment. So yes, there is time for them to think of these proposals, but I think the uncertainty makes it also difficult for them, in a certain sense. Where do we go? How do we go? How do we work on these budgets and stuff like that? But at the end of the day, I believe there is funding available. Some of them are going to year ends. There is funding available. Just find out. You never know. They have to get rid of that funding. Otherwise, I guess it becomes also a tax thing. It won't be tax deductible. If you had put a budget aside, you need to use it. Otherwise, it goes back.
Yeah. True.
Yeah.
It's good points. But I think what I'm taking from our conversation as well is that yes, times are hard, and during hard times there can be a lot of frustration, and I think it's also very important for us to not dwell too much into our frustrations, and obviously it's almost impossible to ignore, but I think it will serve us better if we try by all means to come up with solutions and think about solutions that will make everything better, starting from the smallest things. It doesn't have to change the entire
100%.
industry, but we need to make come up with those solutions, and I think that's the only way we can actually grow from this, because everybody's affected. Every industry is affected badly. Most people, 99% of industries are affected. But I want to know from you, Chris, your summit, let me not say yours, the Irene Concept Summit with the Dance Music Summit and Deep Soul Sensation, they've obviously had to stop because of the lockdown, and out of everything, the efforts that you have spent over the past year, the money that you spent, what's your headspace currently when just looking, how are you viewing it, and mentally, how much is it affecting you?
I must be honest, it affected me a lot because we put a lot of energy and we were 2 weeks from executing it. And, we were 2 weeks and we missed it. And it was a big opportunity for our country, for everything, And personally, from us, we lost a lot of money. It's money we can't recover,
Check your video is off, no? Okay.
Sorry about that because I am getting calls, so I know that it cuts.
Okay.
So we did lose a lot of money, but it is what it is. I guess it's life. Nobody expected this, and it is what it is. And we've pushed the date down. I hope that it will happen and we can clear up things. Even though I believe one thing that I just believe in, I think we need to push government to clear up things. How do we push government? We push government in the sense that we have to be responsible as well. If we can show that we can be responsible in our industry, I'm telling you right now, if schools open and if big industries can open, so can the club industry open. We have to show government that we can be responsible and we can follow certain rules and wear certain apparel like the masks or whatever and do it. There's no difference in people working and doing something and people having fun. Are you with me?
I'm with you.
That's what it is. We can start to open up our industry slowly. Maybe not right now, but in a month or two we can.
Yeah.
I just think that personally, I think government just needs to relax a little bit, and I understand the issue of liquor and stuff like that. But I think they also need to realize one thing, that they're starting to impede on our personal things now. They're starting to treat us like children. If there was issues with liquor, they should have dealt with it prior to COVID, not now. So I'm sorry, those who are making decisions up there, I'm telling you straightforward, you're making the wrong decisions. You are starting to treat people like in this country like things, and that's where you get a rebellion, and we will rebel. And believe you me, and it's not about liquor. It's about the way you're treating us. You know what? We all agreed that we will not buy liquor, and everybody was fine for that for a period of time. But if you're going to keep being treated like children in whichever ways, so you can only go out and jog between these hours, you can only do this. You know what? I don't know who makes these decisions, but please stop and consult bigger people, because a lot of them are not even in touch. Our president went to Alex and says, wow, is Alex really like this? He was, really, we all know what our country is like, and, we can't be telling ourselves, oh, is our country really like this? So I just think that, as people, and I think if we work together, if government can come out and reach out to us as well, and we can work together, we can get over this crisis. We can support each other. And even if it means we have to wait for another 6 months, 3 months, 4 months, as long as we're doing it together and we feel that we're part of this, we'll support it.
I hear you.
The minute you start cutting us out and make us feel like children and you are controlling our lives, we're not going to make it. I think that's the whole point. And it's got nothing to do with liquor or cigarettes or this or that or what. I just feel that we all got to be happy. And at the end of the day, all that people want to do is put money and food on the table and support their families.
Yeah.
I think that's all we're trying to do out of all of this. I think that is it. And I think government probably wants to do the same thing.
Yeah.
Make sure that we're all safe and nobody starves, and that's it. And I think importantly from our side in times like this, if you can, if you can support another family, if you can buy something for your neighbor, please do. Please do. Very importantly, I think another brother, another artist, another DJ, and so forth. Please do.
I'm so happy that you mentioned that, Chris. Just one quick question, because I see you getting a lot of calls now.
Yes, I think we're gonna have to cut it. I've got an emergency. Actually.
Okay, cool. All right. Let me just say thank you. We'll pick this convo at some other time, Chris. Thank you so much for doing this, brother. Cheers.
All right. Thanks. Ciao.
Yeah. So guys, this was a heavy one, with DJ Christos. But thank you for watching, and I hope that from this we're not getting too angry and too emotional. Obviously, like, the situation is not easy. This whole COVID situation is difficult for everyone, for each and every one of us. No one is gigging. Even the people who were gigging a lot, they are not gigging. Like, there is no difference between an established DJ and an up and coming DJ at this point in time. So it's very important for us to try and stay level-headed. Think about solutions. What else can we do to drive this scene forward now and even after lockdown? What are the changes that need to happen in our scene? And we need to be honest with ourselves as well. Let's be honest. What kind of scene do we really have? Whether it's financially and otherwise, the love is there. There's no there's no question about it. The love for the music is there, guys. The people are there. The support is there. But we really need to think about how can we truly make this a career worth living for people, a career worth a respectable career as well, so that when we form these groups, when we form these bodies, people can look at this scene and say, this, I want to be part of this. It's a career, it's a part of it becomes a movement more than how we've been casually doing it. The government has been saying they're looking to be able to get relief funds. You need to have a contract, that an event was postponed. And a lot of us, most of the time, there is no contract between DJs. There is no contract. There is no, a legal agreement between DJs and venues, or DJs and promoters. So those are some of the things that we need to change going forward. Because if we had all of those contracts, just imagine we could be getting some portion of relief, But obviously the situation is bad for everyone. But I want to leave you guys with one last word to say: let's be creative. let's try to be positive. Let's try to come up with solutions, and that's the only way we will move this scene forward. Thank you so much, guys. Tomorrow I've got Linda Maya. I've got a competition with her that we're running. We're giving away basically a free vinyl. I'll post the details later this morning. Thank you so much. Peace.